Jesus said, I've come that you may have life and have it to the full. And I cannot help but think about the life that he's talking about is a life that's free from sin, free from the grip of Satan. And it's Memorial Day weekend, and I'm certainly thankful for those people that have died and given their life for our freedom. But I'm mostly concerned today about the man that died and gave me true freedom, and that's Jesus Christ. And what I love about church camp is the extension of what the church here is doing. Today is Church Camp Sunday, and we're going to be encouraging you to send your kids to camp, but it's the same thing that you're doing here. We just do it for a week. We do it for a week long. What a great way to start the service off with 2 baptisms. Amen. It's so awesome. Yeah. Camp, if you come to camp, I always say I like to start camp off the best way possible by praying to Him and going to Him. And wow, I cannot think of a better way of starting the service off by people giving their life to Christ and starting that life in freedom. And that's what we do at camp a lot. We bring people out of the world and bring them to Christ where they can experience a full life and enjoy life. And y'all seem like you're having a fun time this morning. You seem like you're enjoying a great worship service. You seem like you're having a good time. We have a fun time at camp. We really do. So can I play a game with you this morning? See how sharp you are? Okay. See if you're everybody awake? All right. So we're talking about camp. Usually I ask how many people have been to camp. Raise your hand. Go ahead and do that. Yeah, but so it looks like maybe about half. Half of you maybe haven't been to the camp. So you're like, what is this White Mills Christian camp? So my first question, and those of you that haven't been, you might pick up on some of these, you might not, you might be exempt, but what town is White Mills Christian camp located in? Hey, there you go. That's not too tough, is it? Yeah, that's pretty good. You got that one, Jim, right? White Mills? Yeah. All right, you're doing pretty good. Let's see. This one's a little tough. All right, some of you that have been there way back in the day might have a better chance at this one, okay? What year did White Mills Christian Camp officially start? 1940. Oh, you're cheating. That's not fair. You did good. You did good. I tell the kids all the time the camp's been around longer than McDonald's. So McDonald's started in 1955. I'm like, wow, the world without McDonald's? Well, we can't imagine a world without camp. If you haven't been to camp, you need to go. So last question this morning, what is the main reason we have church camp? Teach about Jesus. That's right. Everybody thinks of fun, and we do, and our poster back there shows lots of fun activities, but it's really all about bringing kids to Christ. Everything that's going on at that camp. We're so thankful for this church and partnering with the church camp. You've been a partner since day one with White Mills Christian Camp, and we're so thankful. We're thankful for the people that you send because the church actually comes to the camp, and what a neat place. It's been doing that for so many years. So we appreciate your support. We appreciate your people that come. We appreciate board members that come every month. Brian Callum is one of our faithful. I mean, I tell you, we've got 15 different churches represented on our board. We'll give Brian a pat on the back. And they come once a month. It's quite a commitment. But I tell you, your board member here hardly ever misses. He is there every single month, and he comes and helps take care of the business of the camp. So this church is a big part of that camp, and we want you to continue to be a part. And wouldn't it be cool if every single kid in this church came to camp this summer? We have a theme. It's no empty beds, and so we have about 300 beds at the camp. And we want every single kid to be there and take part of it. So we're excited Daniel's going to be there. He's already told me he's a senior this year. He's got one last chance to go to high school camp. So he's excited to be there. So we're looking forward to a good summer. And so we want you to keep the camp in our prayers or your prayers. Last summer we broke the record. More kids came to camp than ever before in the history of camp. 1,543 kids came to camp. Isn't that awesome? Yeah. And right now we've got more kids registered for camp than we had at this point last year. So if you want to register for camp, then you get to get on board because the beds are filling up, and that is so exciting and so awesome. So I want to talk to you this morning about camp. I want to share, and some of you that haven't been there, we're going to take you on a tour, but I also want to share some things with you from God's Word. Can I do that? Yeah. I don't always get the chance to preach, so I want to preach and share a few things with you this morning. How many of you like to be in control of everything? How many of you, when you go driving, you like to be the one who drives? You like to be there's a lady right there that said, I want to be in the driver's seat. Yeah, a lot of guys have this issue. You want to be, I think we have problems with control, and we like to be in charge because when we are behind the wheel, we feel like we can control things. Well, ultimately, as Christians, we're supposed to be letting God be in control, right? That's sometimes hard for us to do. The sermon I have this morning is found in Luke chapter 5. Luke chapter 5, I believe in your pew Bibles, it is page number 728. I believe that's right. I'm doing something I'm still kind of getting used to, and that's looking at this icon here as I read this morning. So some of you may not like that. I'm not sure I like it either. It feels like we're supposed to open up the Bible, right? You know, but I've got it right here. Luke chapter 5. We're going to be reading God's Word this morning and getting 3 lessons from one of my favorite people in the Bible, Simon Peter. I'm going to be trying to talk to you a little bit about camp and some of the things we can get from that at the same time. Simon Peter, one of my favorite people in the Bible, and some lessons that we can learn from him. So this is where Jesus is calling his first disciples. He's calling people to come and follow him. If you will follow with me, Luke chapter 5, verse 1. One day, as Jesus was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, that is the Sea of Galilee, the people were crowding around him listening to the word of God. He saw at the water's edge 2 boats left there by the fishermen who were washing their nets. He got into one of the boats, the one belonging to Simon, and asked him to put out a little farther from shore. Then he sat down and taught the people from the boat. When he had finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into deep water and set down the nets for a catch." Simon answered, "Master, we worked hard all night and haven't caught anything. But because you say so, I will let down the nets." When they had done so, they caught such a large number of fish that their nets began to break. So they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And as they came and filled both boats so full that they began to sink. When Simon Peter saw this, he fell at Jesus' knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord, I am a sinful man." For he and all his companions were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so were James and John, the sons of Zebedee, Simon's partners. Then Jesus said to them, "Simon, don't be afraid from now on. You will fish for people." So they pulled their boats up on the shore, left everything, and followed him. I gave my life to Christ when I was about 7 years old, and I've been going to church all my life, and been blessed to have Christian parents that took me to church. And all my life I've heard some simple things that seem pretty simple to do. Like read your Bible, pray, go to church. Those are some of the basic things, right? This story right here, Simon Peter was minding his own business there beside the shore, tending to his nets, taking care of things. He was a fisherman. And here comes this crowd of people, and Jesus walks up, and he thinks he's in charge. He thinks he's in control. It's his stuff. It's his boat. But all of a sudden, Jesus gets in, like he owns it. You know, because he does own it, right? Simon Peter was like, "Oh, okay." And he doesn't say anything. And then Jesus asked him to do a simple thing. He said, "Put out a little from the shore." Jesus asked Simon Peter to do something so simple. He was a fisherman. He knew how to put off the boat, launch the boat from the shore. Pretty simple. What would have happened if Simon Peter had said, "No, I'm not going to do that simple thing"? I don't know. I think Jesus would have continued to work, but because he put out from the shore, Jesus was able to preach to the crowds more effectively. He got out away from the crowd, and I'm always amazed at the crowds that he talked to. You know, we've got microphones today, but he talked to thousands of people, and yet people could hear Jesus' voice. Well, maybe being out in the water amplified Jesus' voice even more. He's a master of miracles. But he was able to use Simon Peter's boat, and Simon obeyed. Lesson number 1 that I've learned growing up is that it's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing he asks you to do is simple. Amen. Even if Jesus asks you to do something simple, like go to church on Sunday, pray. If Jesus asks you to read your Bible so that you can read about him, it's a simple thing. It's a good thing to obey those simple things. If you're outside of Christ this morning and don't know that freedom, perhaps he's asking you to do something simple today. And that's to listen. Open your heart. It's a good thing. It's amazing what God can do if you'll just do those simple little things. Sometimes we have these categories of things. Well, That's so simple. You know, reading my Bible, praying, that's so simple. God would ask me to do something more grand than that. God would ask me to do something more grand than take a plate of cookies to my neighbor. He would ask me to do something so much bigger than just opening the door for somebody and being kind to them in the grocery store. But if we listen to the Holy Spirit, He will talk to us and He will tell us some simple things to do. Amen. And I'm here to tell you today, it's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing He tells you to do is simple. So I'm glad you're here at church this morning. Some people choose to not do that simple thing like gathering together with God's people and you can be refreshed. Simon Peter did that, and good things happened. The story continues, and it's really amazing, really awesome, because Simon Peter, he knows what he's doing. And we all think we know what we're doing too, right? He was a fisherman, and he knew his trade. And then Jesus said, I want you to go out and start fishing again. I want you to go out and catch some fish. Well, here we go. We got a carpenter telling a fisherman how to fish. And Simon's like, you're starting to get into my territory where I really know what I'm talking about, what I'm doing. But Simon, to his credit, he said, Lord, because you asked me, I will go out and let down the net. And so they had been fishing all night, and they knew that the fish weren't biting, but they obeyed Jesus. And they did something that really didn't, to them, make any sense at all. I say it's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing He asks you to do is surprising. Surprising. We had a kid come to camp a few years ago. It was one of the coolest stories that happened at camp. And this kid came to camp. He came with a bad attitude. You know, if you come to camp, you got to come with a good attitude. Rule number one, right? Because it might rain, you might bump next to somebody that snores or something. You got to come with a good attitude, right? But this kid came with a bad attitude. And wow, he didn't want to eat, he didn't want to have any fun, he didn't want to do any of the good stuff there. And I thought, well, we're just going to be able to put this. So I called his mom, fully expecting. I told the mom, I said, he's giving us too much trouble. You're going to have to come pick this kid up. Because it wasn't working out. Well, she did something that was surprising. And I took it as a sign from God. And she said, you know what? He's going to stay at camp. He needs to be at camp. And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And so it was surprising that, a lot of times they would come running and get him. And so we just loved on this kid. We took him under our arms and loved him, took care of him. By the middle of the week, he finally just couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't help but have fun. He was having fun out there. He got a girlfriend before the week was over. He was just having a great time. And so that kid that didn't want to come to church, at the end of that week, you know what happened? He gave his life to Jesus Christ. It's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing He asks you to do is surprising. What surprising things God may have been asking you to do lately that this doesn't make any sense to you? Maybe someone came up and said, hey, it would be great if you would teach this class. I'm not a college person. I don't know if I can do that. This doesn't make sense. Maybe God's been asking you to do something that you just don't really see how you can do. You just don't have the time in your calendar to be able to do it. Maybe someone's been wanting you to go to church camp. Maybe somebody's like, hey, I'll go to camp if you go to camp. And you're like, you know what, I really like being at home. I'm not sure I want to do that. That's just not my thing. If God's asking you to do it, I think you need to listen. It's a good thing to obey Jesus. Even if the thing He asks you to do is simple, it's a good thing to obey Jesus. Even if the thing He asks you to do is surprising. The story really continues on here. You know what happens, right? They catch all these fish. And I've read this story a bunch of times, I've read this story a bunch of times, but I never caught this until just recently. Simon fills these boats up, or Jesus fills these boats up, and the boats are about to sink. 2 boats. They're full of fish, right? And all of a sudden, Simon Peter's overwhelmed by the power of Jesus, by the power of God. And he realizes that who this is standing before him. And he's overwhelmed, and he falls down, and he wants to worship Jesus. But he doesn't fall at Jesus' feet. If you read back there, he doesn't fall at Jesus' feet. He falls at Jesus' knees. I thought it was really cool because he couldn't even see his feet. His feet were covered up in fish.
Yeah.
He was standing there and he was like, I can only get to your knees, Jesus. He falls at Jesus' knees and he says, go away from me, Lord, I'm a sinful man. And he worships Jesus. Oh, isn't that cool when we get to that place? It happens at camp all the time. They're so surrounded by all these things, and then they realize who Jesus is, and they fall at Jesus' feet, and they worship Him. When we get to that place, some amazing things happen. They came back in, and Jesus calls them to be His disciples, because really, when you accept Jesus, like these two people did this morning, it's just the beginning.
Yes.
Right? It's just the beginning, because then the adventure really starts. And that's what happened with Simon Peter. The adventure really started. And it says right there that they left everything and followed Jesus. Last point of this 3-point sermon, they always teach you guys 3 points, right? It's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing He asks you to do is sacrificial. They left everything. They left everything to follow Jesus. What sacrificial thing is Jesus asking you to do today? I think it's a good thing when we reach deeper in our pockets and we give. I think it's a good thing when we give more time when we really feel like we have time. I think it's a good thing when we go beyond our comfort zone and we do things that aren't comfortable to us. Church can't put you out of your comfort zone. You ever notice that? We're used to being in our rooms. We're used to being in the same routine. You go to church camp and you are out of your comfort zone.
Well,
you're with people that you don't really know, and you become a family for a week. And it's sometimes uncomfortable. And it's a sacrifice. We had 520 volunteer workers last summer. Think about that. Wow. All those programs happen. I didn't even talk about Ron Matthews. He's back here as one of our deans. And a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice. Right, Ron? A lot of work that goes into that. So a lot of faculty give their time to make that happen. Wow. It's a good thing to obey Jesus, even if the thing He asks you to do is sacrificial. And so I encourage you to think about that when you think about church camp. I'm going to take you on a tour of the camp here, and then we're going to come back to Simon Peter real quick as we close here. Several of you have never been to the church camp. What a cool place. One of our ministers said that the camp has been a spirit-filled place for a long time, and it has been a blessing to serve there and continue to serve there. And we want you to come there. This is your church camp. It's an extension of what you have and what you have, and what a beautiful place to come and focus on God. The mission of the camp is to provide a beautiful atmosphere, an outdoor natural environment where people can come away from God, or come away from the world and focus on God. And so I want you to think of the camp as a tree. As a tree that people climb to see Jesus. Just like Zacchaeus, he was surrounded by so many things he couldn't see Jesus.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by so much we can't see Jesus today. And when kids come to camp, it's like they're climbing a tree so they can see Jesus. And for years, the roots of this tree have been growing deeper and the branches have been getting bigger. So that's the 40-acre campus. Isn't that a neat piece of property? It's surrounded by the Nolan River there, about 52 miles from here. I think that's what it was. And so it's a beautiful place. There's the hotel that was built in 1907. It's really a beautiful place. It's one of the first things you see. It's where our dining room is, where we feed the kids. And we've got a group of 100 people there right now. Many of them are staying in the hotel. You've come to this camp, and this camp, or this church comes Labor Day weekend and shares, right, as a family, Labor Day weekend. And some of you eat in the dining room. There's a dining room. What's wrong with this picture? There's no people, there's no tables and chairs. This was the side we worked on last winter and finished it up, and it looked a lot prettier. Go to the next picture. That's the other side. Y'all haven't seen that. We finished it. And so that's the original side. That's a pretty nice place to eat a hot dog, isn't it? Not bad. That looks a little better. We got kids in that picture there. And so this dining room holds 150, and we fill it up twice a lot of times during the summer. In fact, we're working towards another dining room and gathering money towards that. It'll be even bigger, and we'll continue to use this one as well too. Carpet ball, we enjoy games. Raise your hand if you play carpet ball. Some of you know what carpet ball is. It's a great game. If you come, you got to play me because I'm pretty good at it. I get to practice every once in a while. We've been blessed with a beautiful swimming pool, fantastic swimming pool facility. It's about as big as this sanctuary is right here, and we enjoy that. In fact, I've got to tell you this story. We have a missionary Christian convention, and our camps are represented at that each year. And they have one place where all the church camps from around the nation are listed, and lots of pictures. Well, guess what picture is always front and center of their posters? The White West Christian Camp pool. It is like the most beautiful pool of any church camp you'll go to. Fantastic facility. And I got a really tall step ladder. I took this picture. I had one of those flying drones and took a picture right there. I'll tell you next Saturday, if any of you are free and available, June 4th, is we've got an open house. If you want to come to camp, you can swim, go down our zip line, and hamburger 11 to 3. You're all invited to come and just share with that, and you're more welcome to come do that. This is our retreat center. When you come to church camp on Sunday afternoon, you'll come and show up there, and we'll register you for camp. So we got camp programs from 4 years old through high school. All right, so we got day camp programs, overnight camp programs for kindergarten, first grade. Once you get first grade through fifth grade, you can do a half week or a full week. In middle school and high school, we got specialty weeks, science camp, performing arts, horse camp. We got the Ron Matthews week. Third, fourth, and fifth grade. This is the back side of our retreat center. This is what we hope to have in the next picture. The next picture shows the inside of it. This will be our new dining room. We're approaching the place where we can start to move on this. Keep this in your prayers. This will be a 300-plus seat cafeteria, so we'll be able to put all our campers there at one time. So the camp is growing and expanding. This is a beautiful gymnasium that, what can you read what that says right in the middle? That logo? And what's the little words? Where God and youth are partners. That's right. And so this is used as a gym. It's used as a worship area, and it's used for our adult programs as well too. And I'll mention our adult programs. We have Seniors Day in October. We have a great men's retreat, and that's the second weekend in October. Then we have a ladies retreat, and the ladies, they always have 100. I think it had 175 this past year, and some of you attend that. So it's not just for kids, but for the adults as well too. This is one of my favorite things at camp. Campfire. Back here in the back, I've got the coolest campfire in the world. It literally puts out no heat. It is a cool campfire, so I want you to come back and see me after church and get a brochure. But we end camp a lot of times around there and singing songs to God. These are a couple of our dorms where we have our bunkhouses. And some people say it's not like camp used to be because we've got air conditioning. We've got a nice place to shower. It's a nice facility. Nice place. This is a beautiful pond that we have where we do a lot of fishing. I think 1 week last year they had the first, second, third graders go out. I think it was 95 of them went out to fish. And within an hour, every single one of them had caught a fish. So we do canoeing sometimes on the pond, and again, I'm from my big tall step ladder there in that picture. And we do canoeing along the river as well. We've got a new river ramp access in the back part of the camp where you can do that, so you'll get to enjoy that when you come in August. You did get to enjoy it through the summer as well too. So, a few years ago, this is our third summer using the zip line. How many of you been on our zip line? Hey, look there. Fantastic. It's a world-class zip line, 1,000 feet, traveling 35 to 40 miles an hour, and you can race your friends. There's two of them as you go down off this tower, and it increases your prayer life. You get to the top of this tower, and all of a sudden you're starting to pray, even if you don't want to. We've added this to the trail. This is really neat. This is a 50-foot long swinging bridge. So as you exit the tower, you walk back up the trail, and then you go across this bridge as you're heading back up to the tower. So even if you can't conquer the zip line, you might can do the bridge. So, well, like most Christian camp, God and youth are partners. And so we're excited to be a part of that, and we hope that you're excited too. Jim Myers was on the board that he brought me on, and he said, never lose the joy of camp. Well, I don't see how you can lose the joy of such a fantastic place like White House Christian Camp. I want to go back to Simon Peter real quick, if I may. Simon Peter started a great adventure with Jesus after he obeyed Jesus and started that great adventure. And some of the coolest stories in the Bible happened with Simon. One of my favorite stories is the story of where, you remember they were on the boat and they saw this ghost-like figure and they didn't recognize him at first, but then Simon Peter did, and he said, I believe that's Jesus. And he called out to Jesus and said, Lord, if that's you, tell me and I'll come to you out on the water. Why would he say such a crazy thing like that, right? There he was, sitting in a boat. You can't walk on water. That's an impossibility. But he had come to know that with Jesus, anything is possible. You know, I got to tell you right now, I see people walk on the water all the time. I really do. You know, and not in the pool, because when you walk in that beach entry, you just get deeper and deeper in there. But I see people all the time that step out on faith and do things that they just wouldn't think are impossible because they keep their eyes on Jesus. Right? Simon Peter walked on the water. He did something impossible. He kept his eyes on Jesus and he walked towards Jesus on the water. And I always, growing up, heard this story, and it was amazing to me that I never did quite get my head wrapped around it. Because Simon did what we all do. He took his eyes off Jesus and he began to sink. Yeah. He sank down in the water, and then he did the only thing that made sense. The only thing he could do is he cried out, "Lord, save me." Right? Sometimes we have to do that. Lord, save me. Jesus was immediately there and pulled him up. And now I always heard that this story was like, all of a sudden Jesus was like down on him. Like, where's your faith? Why didn't you trust in me? But I don't know if it quite happened that way. When you read it, I think you can almost see that he grabbed Peter and he pulled him up out of the water. He was proud of him because he got out of the boat. He trusted in Jesus. He embraced him and hugged him. And then he turned to all those disciples who were still sitting there in the boat and he said, "Where's your faith? Why didn't you trust?" Amen. I challenge you this morning to trust in Jesus. Be willing to get out of the boat. Be willing to get out of your comfort zone. That might mean going to church camp. It might mean talking to someone at the workplace that you know needs Jesus. But if you trust in Him, you can do some amazing things if you'll keep your eyes on Him. He'll allow you to do some amazing things. So, awesome, some great lessons that we can learn from Simon Peter. Some great lessons that you can learn if you go to church. If you do the simple things, do the surprising, do the sacrificial, follow Jesus. He can help us out. Hey, I want you to go to church camp this summer. That's why I'm here. And I want you to come see me. How you go to church camp is you get a registration form and you simply fill it out. You might know somebody. You might not have any kids of your own, but you might have a neighbor. You might have a grandkid or somebody that could really benefit from a week of church camp. And what a difference it can make. Again, it's an extension of what you're doing here, but sometimes when they're at a week of camp, it really opens up their eyes to what God can do. So thank you for supporting the camp. Thank you for doing that. I want to close by letting you see what a week of camp is like in about a minute and a half. Thank you.
Here's what it looks like at White Hills Christian Camp. Where God